enlightened about your product. Your sales team is going to be able to do much more efficient work. You know, we did just shy of 10 million at Storybrand this last year. We're really only about 4 years old. Those are incredible numbers. We do no outbound calling, none. We just deal with people who are curious and enlightened, and they call and say, hey, I've got a couple questions about whether or not this will work for my company. And my sales reps basically become marketing consultants in a way, and then they close sales based on whether or not the customer actually needs this in order to clarify their message and move on. Your sales team is going to thank you for creating a sales funnel. All right, I want to start with the very first thing that you've got to do. You've got to create a one-liner. Remember, this is one sentence. If you downloaded the little workbook we gave you for this webinar, please download it. That is a fantastic workbook. That is everything that I wanted 4 years ago when I started this company, or really about 10 years ago when I was running a publishing company. I needed that checklist, and I didn't have it. Nobody had one. I created one for you. So I'm going to save you that 10 years of frustration. Download that checklist right now. When you download it, you'll see the exercise for a one-liner. A one-liner is a sentence that you can give your customers that has three parts. The first part is the problem. The second part is the product or solution. And the third part is the result. You want to, when somebody says, what do? You don't want to say, I'm an orthodontist, or I'm a dentist, or whatever. What you want to say, if somebody says, what do? What you would actually say is, you know, a lot of people aren't comfortable with their smile, and I really help them fix smiles. I'm an orthodontist, right? And so what did I just do? I led with a problem that the customer could feel. If you don't lead with a problem that the customer can feel, they are not going to do business with you. The only reason you're in business is because you solve problems. And if you haven't identified and can't clearly articulate what that problem is, then nobody's going to do business with you. When you state the problem in the mind of the person you're talking to, what happens is a story loop or story gap gets opened in their mind, and they are motivated, they are fueled to close that gap. And the only way they're going to close that gap is by doing business with you. A lot of people aren't comfortable with their smiles. Oh man, I actually kind of like my smile, but I know I could like it more. My friend got braces, and their smile looks great. And I would, it's a digital age. We're all on film and Instagram all the time. What's happening? He said something that began to open a story gap in my mind. And now the wider this story gap gets, the more I'm motivated to actually close that gap. You know, our Storybrand workshop, we teach you to open a gap with the problem, but open it 3 times wider with 3 kinds or aspects of a problem that motivate people to buy from you. The point here is, if you're not talking about their problem, they're not looking for a solution. Everything that you sell at your company is medicine. It's medicine. But nobody buys medicine just to buy medicine. They buy medicine for a toothache, for a headache, for a cut or a scrape. They buy medicine for a specific purpose. If you've been trying to sell medicine by saying, we sell medicine, good luck. And that's what a lot of you are doing. You need to talk about the customer's problem, their pain point. You talk about that, and you're going to move forward. Second, you want to talk about your product or solution. I'm an orthodontist. I sell braces to kids who don't like their smiles, right? The product only makes sense after you've highlighted the problem. So a lot of people lead with the product, but if you didn't highlight the product doesn't mean anything. And then finally, the result. You want to get to the happy ending that the product creates, so that people can love their smile and look great on Instagram. So what do you do for a living, Don? A lot of people don't like their smiles these days. I'm an orthodontist. I give them a great smile so they like the way they look when they see themselves on Instagram. Okay, if you and I are at a party and there are 2 different orthodontists at that party, and one of them says, I'm an orthodontist, and really we're all thinking to ourselves, okay, an orthodontist, I think that's a kind of dentist, right? But there's no part of any of my brain that's saying maybe I need that. But if they say a lot of people don't like their smile as much as they should, then I say, well, even if I don't need it, my nephew needs it, my uncle might need it, I know people who might want that. And you could even add to that one-liner saying, a lot of people don't like their smile and don't realize how easy and inexpensive it is to fix it. I'm an orthodontist. I mean, how much business do you think I'm going to do? You got 2 orthodontists at a party. One says I'm an orthodontist. The other one says what I just said. Who's going to do the business? I guarantee you, the guy who says, a lot of people don't like their smile and don't realize how easy and inexpensive it is to fix it, they're not just going to do more business, they're going to do all the business, all of it. Every single person who needs an orthodontist is going to choose that one. That is the power of a one-liner, and you want to get that one-liner down. Now, once you have that one-liner down in your workbook there, some things I want you to do with it. First, memorize it. I mean, really memorize it. Be able to say it and repeat it at the drop of a hat. Next, get your team to memorize it. Everybody on your team should know that one-liner. Then put the one-liner as the email signature on not only your email, but every single one of your employees should have the one-liner as an email. Why? It's piquing curiosity. It's enlightening people about how you solve their problem, and it's showing them a happy ending in one sentence. That is really, really powerful. So you want that repeated everywhere you can. Extra credit. Put it on your retail wall. Actually, just paint it on your wall, and everybody who walks through your door would read that and know what you do. If you're business to business, paint it on the interior of your office wall so that your team knows what to do. Imagine your team, if somebody's at a baseball game on your team and somebody says, "What do you do?" and they repeat that one-liner, they're now putting hooks in the water all over town. So that one-liner, words are free. If you can teach your team to say the right words, you have free advertising all over town. I mean, it's just amazing. You want to do that. Have them memorize your one-liner. Next, put it on your website. It can be in the explanatory paragraph section of your website. I'll get into that in a minute. But you want to repeat that sentence in the same language over and over and over. Okay? Now that we have your one-liner, let's go to your actual website. The one-liner makes them curious, makes them go to your website. You want to wireframe a really great website. Let me give you some sections that you can have on your website. I think you should have almost all of these sections, certainly the ones that apply. The first is a header. That is the top part of the website. Think of it as the top of a newspaper. It's the part that makes me want to buy the newspaper. The job of the header is to explain what you do, how you can make your customers' lives better, and so on, and also entice people to read the rest of the website. That's the job of the header. Next, you want to include a loss aversion section. Loss aversion is an incredibly powerful psychological fact that people are much more motivated to not lose something than they are to gain something. So these studies have been done, and a Nobel Prize was actually given for discovering some of these ideas. But people are more motivated to not lose $100 than they are to win $100. So if you motivate people by saying you can get $100, they're 80% motivated to do it. If you say, look, you're going to lose $100 unless you do this, they are 95% motivated to do it. I'm making up those statistics. You can actually read the research. But loss aversion is huge. So what you want to do is the top of your website, you can have a header that says, here's what life can look like. And the very next section is, but this is what your life looks like. And life is being taken away from you because you haven't bought our product. That is a hook. When you go to a movie, you sit down, everything we do is based on story, right? And so when you go to a movie, you sit down at the movie and you see that Jason Bourne's life is great. And then something horrible happens 6 minutes in. It's called the inciting incident. And his great life is being taken away from him, and now it's horrible, and he has to re-seek stability and peace in that story and close that story gap. That's why a movie gets you to pay attention as much as it does. We want to do the same thing with your website. The very first part is, life could be really great for you, but it's not. You are actually suffering because of this, and that, and we want to stop that suffering. That opens a story loop. It motivates attention to your product or service as a solution to my problem, and you did it in the first two sections of your website. If you just do those two sections of your website, those two, to start your website, you will see an increase in business. A lot of you aren't doing that. You went right out of the gate saying, we've been in business since 1876, and my father started the company. And the fact that you've been in business since 1876 does not solve a problem and does not tell me how you're going to help me survive. The fact that your grandfather started a business is really great. It doesn't solve the problem, my problem, and it doesn't tell me how you're going to help me survive. So far, my mind is going through your website going, I don't need this information, I don't need this information, I don't need this information. You've all been in conversations with somebody, and you've been in a hurry, you've been busy, you've got to get somewhere, something is about to close, you're trying to get there before, and you're stuck in a conversation, and they're telling you information that you don't need, and you're trying to get away. That is actively what you are doing to your customers. You are doing that very thing. They are trying to solve a problem, and you are giving them information they don't need, and they are actively trying to get away from you and conserve mental calories for the task at hand, which is going to help them survive. So the header and the loss aversion section, those two parts of the website are absolutely the most important to lead with. Let's get on to some more parts of the website. Now, these are not in any specific order. I like header first, loss aversion second, and then all of this can be put in any order that you want. I tend to put the guide positioning third. And guide positioning is this. You're actually explaining to a customer why you are the person who can now help them solve their problem. You don't need to introduce yourself until you've explained that you can actually help them solve their problem. So as you know from my book, Building a Storybrand, or if you've attended one of our live workshops, the way to do it is empathy and authority. You state that you care about the customer and that you have the competency to solve their problem. Empathy and competency or authority is the two aspects of positioning yourself as a guide. It's the third section of your website that you should be introducing yourself. Don't introduce yourself at the top. State the customer's problem or how you can help them survive at the top. And then, and only then, you will matter in their life. Next, divisions of your company. You all have revenue streams. You have different divisions of your company. You can introduce the complications of the divisions of your company here, but only after you frame those divisions of your company as solutions to a problem. I'll show you that in a sample website here in a minute. Divisions of your company go next. Then plan. You want to walk people through preferably 3 steps they take to do business with you. Schedule an appointment, and then we'll get together and we'll review your goals. If I'm a financial advisor, schedule an appointment. We'll get together, we'll review your goals, and then I'll help you execute. 1, 2, 3. If you go to CarMax's website, fantastic job with that website. If you want to sell a car, bring us your car. We'll appraise it. We'll write you a check. 1, 2, 3. People will not walk into a forest unless there is a trail. And the plan is the trail. If you have not built a trail from curiosity to the purchase of your product, don't expect anybody to walk with you. You've got to build a trail. That trail is the plan. Next, you want an explanatory paragraph. This is where you get your SEO. Some of you are saying, Don, where's search engine optimization come? It comes right here. The explanatory paragraph is the long-form explanation or sales pitch, if you will, about why people should buy your product. There's 2 reasons to do this. One I already mentioned, it's SEO, get your search engine optimization. The other is, especially with a high-priced product or a complicated product that's going to cost me a lot of time, you want to give the customer a way to feel as though they have done due diligence. They need to feel as though they've researched your product. So having a few paragraphs, call it an explanatory paragraph, it's really a few paragraphs that talk about your product is what you want to do. How do you write the explanatory paragraph? Right, the first sentence of your explanatory paragraph is your one-liner. It's your one-liner. And then you want to have learn more or read more after your one-liner, and they click read more, and the rest of the paragraphs then unfold. Why? People scan websites, and after they scan websites and you've piqued their curiosity and offered them some sort of enlightenment, then they go back and read a website. So keep it collapsed to only 2 sentences so they can scan the website. Then when they click learn more, they can actually read and feel like they've done due diligence. You say, Don, what do I put in my explanatory paragraph? What you want in your explanatory paragraph is actually your brand script spelled out. You want your brand script spelled out. And so if you go through my book, Building a Storybrand, or attend one of our live workshops, you're going to create a brand script. And you're going to take that brand script, you're going to write it out in paragraph form. That is your brand script. There's so many people who've gone to storybrand.com and they said, Don, the thing that convinced me to come was when I read all those paragraphs. Well, it's a very great sales pitch. It's extremely clean and efficient. It's our brand script spelled out in paragraph form. But they also did due diligence. And as soon as they click due diligence, off in their mind, they said, you know what, I've researched it. This looks good. I think I'm going to go. I'm going to take a risk and go. And they come to our workshop. It's that explanatory paragraph that does that. So you really want that. Next, you want a lead generator. If you don't have a lead generator, you need to get one. That's a lead generating PDF. I'm going to cover it in the next section of the checklist. It's number 3 in the checklist. But you want a lead generator that gets their email address so that you can email them. If you're not collecting email addresses, I want you to start today. You should have hundreds, if not thousands, of email addresses. The higher price your product is, the more complicated it is on a business-to-business transaction, then you're going to have less email addresses. But that's fine because you need less customers to make your business work. Collect email addresses is the absolute best way to do marketing today. The most efficient, cost-effective way to do marketing, collect email addresses. The only way you're going to collect email addresses with the lead generator. If you have a newsletter, I have very, very, very bad news for you. Nobody wants to read it. I don't know what a newsletter is. Your lead generator is what I want. I'm going to get into that next. And then finally, the last part of your website is the junk drawer. We call it the junk drawer because it's where everything goes that you previously thought was important. Employment opportunities. Contact us. People will look for contact us. You don't have to put it at the top of the website. Put it down in the junk drawer at the bottom of the website. Can I show you a website that really works and looks good? This is a company that we made up. We just made up a fictional company called Circuit E-Bikes. And this is their website. Betsy and I bought e-bikes a couple of years ago. We absolutely love them. It's the illusion of exercise. You hardly have to pedal and you go around and you feel like you're working out. But anyway, it's a really fun way to see town. It's a great commuter tool. But how do we sell more e-bikes? Well, let's say I've got an e-bike shop. The eye goes from the top left, where it says Circuit E-Bikes, to the top right, where it says Find a Dealer, across the middle, where it says Be the Leader of the Pack, and then it does a Z pattern. It goes over here to the bottom left, Save the Environment, Save Money, Save Time. That's what the eye naturally does when it encounters a website. And what you want to do is take the words that you've come up with on your brand script as you clarify your message and place them in the right places on your website that correspond with where the eye already goes. So this is a great header to a website. A couple things I want you to notice. The first is there's not a lot of words. These are less words than a tweet. There's probably less than 140 characters right there on that website. And yet look at the power of what it's doing. It tells you it's an e-bike. Some of you have websites that don't even tell me what you do. It tells you it's an e-bike. It tells you to find a dealer. It tells you what you need to do to buy an e-bike. And then it offers you an aspirational identity. If you've read my book or attended my workshop, you know the power of an aspirational identity. You need to sell your customers an aspirational identity. If you buy my e-bike, you get to be the leader of the pack. Then as we scroll down, we've got Find a Dealer again, by the way. So now we've asked them twice. Go back to the header. We've asked them twice to buy it. And then across the bottom, Save the Environment, Save Money, Save Time. That's called a value stack. Now, let's say this e-bike costs $2,500. $2,500 is a lot of money for a bike, but hopefully it's worth it. $2,500, I get a bike. But if I get to be the leader of the pack, that's worth another $1,000. So now I get a $3,500 value for a $2,500 bike. That's pretty awesome. But wait a second, I get to save the environment. That's worth another $500. So now I'm at $4,000 value. Save money. My goodness, I'm going to save gas and all this kind of money. That's $1,000, right? So I'm at $5,000. Save time. What's my time worth? It's worth $1,000. Now I'm at $6,000. For $2,500, I have a $6,000 value, and I've spelled it out using words in the header of my website. Your header needs to answer 3 questions. What do you offer? How's it going to make my life better? And what do I need to do to buy it? And that's it. Do not put anything more than that on your header. What do you offer? Tell me what you sell. Sell an e-bike. How's it going to make my life better? Well, it's going to do 4 things. Make you leader of the pack, save money, save the environment, and save time. That's pretty great. What do I need to do to buy it? You need to find a dealer. If you have more information than that on the header of your website, you are cluttering up your website. You're confusing your customers. You're giving them too many options. You're saying things they don't care about. That is not a shiny fly on the edge of a hook that is going to catch a fish. You want that to be really enticing. Your header is super important. Okay, now let's scroll down and look at the second section. You remember I talked about loss aversion. You want to show them what you're saving them from. Life is too short to sit in traffic. What a terrible crime that you have to sit in traffic. Important, beautiful you stuck in traffic listening to the Building a Storybrand podcast. That is a great way to redeem traffic, but let's find an even better way. How about an e-bike? And you can listen to the Building a Storybrand podcast on your headphones. Life is too short to sit in traffic. It's a crime. Plus, traffic is no fun. You're not having any fun, and you're being held back. People, you were designed for more. What did I just do? I agitated a pain. So we showed them a beautiful life that they could live, and in section 2, we agitated a pain. It's called loss aversion. It makes them much more likely to buy. Let's now, from here on, we got the first 2 sections, right? From here on, it's up to you. You can choose anything you want. We actually went the direction of positioning ourselves as a guide next. And remember from what I said earlier, a guide expresses empathy and demonstrates competency, authority. They basically say, I feel your pain, I care about you, and I can get you out. Look at the two messages here. We don't just care about bikes, we care about you. It's really that simple. I care about you. I'm an empathetic person, I care about you. And more than 20,000 happy riders, more than 5 million gallons of gas saved, more than 100,000 commute hours saved. I know what I'm doing. I care about you, and I can get you out of this traffic problem that is ruining your entire life. Empathy and authority, position yourself as the guide. Next, you want to divide your company up. What are the divisions or revenue streams? A lot of you guys are introducing this way too early. You want to frame the problem and the solution before you get to the divisions of your company. But if you have divisions of company, you do that here. This particular e-bike company has the mountain climber, the commuter, the beachcomber. By the way, when I click on any of these products, I'm going to go to a landing page that has the exact same formula. I'm going to repeat this formula on that landing page. Next is the plan. We need 3 steps on how you can help me solve my problem. And if you don't create a path that the customer can take, they are not going to walk with you. Think about it. If you come up to a field and there is no sidewalk through the field, but there's a sidewalk around the field, a significant percentage of people will walk around the field. They won't even take the most efficient route. Why? There's no path. But you build a path and people naturally walk down the path. You likely went from home this morning to your workplace, or last time you went to the store. I've got a big 4x4 truck. I love it. I don't have to take roads. I can go through people's backyards in my big 4x4 truck. But you know what? I always take the road. Why? Because people are designed to take a path. And if you have not given them a path that leads them to buying your product, they're probably not going to 4x4 through the backyard of somebody's house. They're probably going to just not buy the product. So give them a path, and 3 steps is a great way to do it. Get a plan. Next, lead generator. You want to, again, nobody wants to sign up for your newsletter. They will only download something that offers the solution to a problem. 10 ways an e-bike will make and save you money. Now, if I'm looking at a $2,500 purchase, I mean, let's face it, that's a used Honda. I could get a car for that. But I want this e-bike. I'm looking for ways to justify that purchase in my mind. When you are giving me a document that I can read and spend 20 minutes with, that will justify that purchase. Not only that, in that document, the lead generator, you're positioning yourself as a guide, and you are also embedding yourself in my subconscious as somebody who can help me solve my problem. It is very hard to get somebody to pay 8 seconds attention to you in this world. If you have a lead generator, they'll spend 20 minutes with you. That is gold. Gold. You need a lead generator. I'm going to talk about that in the 3rd aspect of the Storybrand marketing framework. Finally, on your website, now we skipped the explanatory paragraph. I want you to have an explanatory paragraph. We didn't put one on this website, but you would put that section in as well. But finally, the junk drawer. Again, we call it the junk drawer because it's where you put everything that you previously thought was important. The junk drawer has all the contact information and employment opportunities and frequently asked questions and those kinds of things. The junk drawer keeps the rest of your website from being cluttered. You don't want people having 90 choices at the top of your website. You really want one. It's the let's do business together button. It's the buy now button. It's the schedule an appointment. So try to get as much of the other stuff down here at the junk drawer as you possibly can. This kind of website is rare. A website that is this clearly done, it's rare. And we have heard, and I'll read you some quotes from customers here at the end of the webinar. We've heard from customers who's had 100% growth, 500% growth, 4,000 or 400% growth. Unbelievable numbers. From $250,000 in the hole to 2.5 years later, $20 million in revenue in 1 year. That's Cauliflower Foods out in California. They did that, and they credit Storybrand with an enormous amount of that success. When you get a website that's this clean, that this is what the fish bite, and you got to spend some time working on that fly to get it on the hook and make sure they bite what you're trying to put in the water here. And a clean, efficient website is going to do that. Okay. Next, the 3rd part of the Storybrand marketing checklist is your lead generator. And your lead generator is the best thing to do, and the cheapest thing to do is literally just to create a PDF. You want to create a PDF that is going to really, sorry, I'm getting my notes here. You want to create a PDF that makes people want to give you their email address. I think an email address is worth about $10. And what I mean by that is people are willing to part with an email address about as much as they're willing to part with $10. I'm not willing to part with $10 very easily. I don't know about you guys. I don't just go throw $10 bills around. Or I'm certainly not going to give you $10 to subscribe to your newsletter when you didn't tell me what was in your newsletter. Why would I do that? That's like me coming up to somebody and saying, hey, for $10, I'll send you a mystery piece of mail every month. Just an envelope with some words in it every month for $10. Nobody, zero people are going to take you up on that offer. And so when you have on your website, join our newsletter, forget it. And right now you're saying to yourself, well, we have a newsletter. And let me say something to you without even knowing it. Hold on, I'm hearing it in my brain. It's coming from the powers that be. You're getting no email addresses with that newsletter. No, it's not no mystery. You're getting no email addresses with that newsletter. You change that newsletter to one lead generator, 4 or 5 pages long. That's the, how to grow a great lawn in Middle Tennessee. That, by the way, lead generator would get a ton of people emailing or downloading it. I'd get your email address. Now I've got hundreds of email addresses, and every person that I've got their email address is wondering how to have a great lawn in Middle Tennessee, where it's hard to grow a great lawn. And that means these are all qualified customers if I have a lawn care company. All right, few rules on creating a good lead generator. First is have a compelling title. Don't make this a white paper. Make it a hook. It opens a story loop that I want to close. The 10 reasons this, or the 5 ways to do this, or how to avoid tragedy in this, or how to save money doing this, how to make money doing this, how to organize your home so it doesn't drive you crazy, how to, make me want it. Have a compelling title. Study the names of stories in magazines. Next time you're at the checkout counter at a grocery store, look at Us Weekly, look at all those look at People Magazine, look at Time. How are they opening a story loop that makes you want to buy that magazine? You want to study that. You want to have a compelling title for your lead generator. Next, you want content that offers value. Solve somebody's problem. Give it to them for free. For free. You say, Don, I want to give away too much. I mean, that's what we sell. Give it away. I have never once paid for being generous. I love solving people's problems, whether you pay me or not. I just love it. And people sense that generosity and say, Don, I want to spend time with you. I want to make sure I get this right. I don't think we've ever suffered economically from that. Offer value in the actual content of what you're creating. Solve some people's problems. They'll pay you to come hold their hand and help them do it, but solve people's problems. Give away, a lot of the magic, and you will just be greatly benefited by it. It's how you earn trust. It's how you create a bond with your customer. It's how you create mutual gratitude. Just give away great content, and then of course get an email. You want that email because you are going to follow up with a series of emails. That brings us to the 4th thing that you need. Oh, actually, let's look at some before and after. Let's look at the compelling titles, right? Your lead generator, imagine having this as a title, The Psychology of Dogs on the left. That's a bad lead generator title. A great lead generator title is What Your Dog Is Actually Thinking About. It's the same lead generator. But on the left, you're going to get 5 people downloading it. They're all dog psychologists. All 5 dog psychologists in the country are going to download that one. On the right, all 5 million dog owners in your city are going to download the one on the right. They want to know what their dog is thinking. That's the power of a compelling title, right? That one's going to win out. A lot of you are giving away white papers. White papers are boring. Marketing automation, trends and practices for learning to create effective marketing content. Blah. That's just a vomit of business speak. Look at the right. 3 skills every marketing consultant should have. And I got a picture of a ninja with a tie around it. I want that one. You want to go to the left, you want to go to the right. Every single one of us wants to go to the right. Every single person who wants to go to the left, their best friend is a calculator. But on the right side, your best friend is a cool person. We want to go to the right one. I love that. Okay, next. You want to make your lead generator scannable. You want to make it feel as people are reading it like it's a magazine. right? I mean, you want call out boxes, you want visuals. People like to scan and read. So if they can scan it, they're going to get through it much better. This is great for you because it means your lead generator text can be short. It can be short. If you need somebody to write a lead generator for you, go to clarifyyourmessage.com, clarifyyourmessage.com, and hire one of our certified guides. We have trained 300 people to write your lead generator. They're going to interview you, and then they're going to write your lead generator. Go to clarifyyourmessage.com. I don't get any money, not a dime from that transaction. If you hire one of them to do that, that's between you and them. But I personally spent time with 300 people here in Nashville, Tennessee, and trained them to write that. It's not super easy, but it's not super hard. You want somebody who's done it 50 times, so that you're getting their expertise. Go to clarifyyourmessage.com. Make it scannable, and also make it beautifully laid out, right? They want it to be beautifully laid out. Next, have a pop-up. People hate pop-ups. They don't like them. They're annoying. Everybody gets annoyed when they get a pop-up. Why would you want to annoy your customers with a pop-up? Well, there's one reason. They work. They actually get email addresses. Not only that, if you look at my pop-up, this is a 5-minute marketing makeover that we sell. We offer. I get about 70 email addresses a day from this one tool, and you can't even click the top right to close it. You literally have to click the sentence that says, "No thanks, I don't want it, the free online course. I'll let my competition watch instead." If you have to click that, that wakes people up. We got a lot more email addresses when we make people click that. Have a pop-up menu that that promotes your lead generator. You'll sell a lot more. You'll get email addresses for a lot more from a lot more customers if you have a pop-up. So I know you hate doing it, you hate seeing them, but they work. You know, let's build a company first, and then we can do things that we love later. Right now, we got to have a pop-up. All right, fourth on the marketing checklist and final follow-up emails. I want you to email your customers. You want to email them the first email. Let me just give you the first 3 emails that you can send out. If you're in one of my email systems, you know, if you've signed up for a 5-minute marketing makeover or creative brand script, you're going to get about 12 or 13 sales emails from me, and then we're going to drop you into what we call a nurturing campaign. And really what we do is we email you every week and we say, this person is on the podcast. Just in the last 2 days, we've interviewed the outgoing governor of Tennessee about leadership, and we interviewed the co-founder of the Ritz-Carlton for our podcast. If you're not subscribed to the Building a Storybrand podcast, do it right now. It is the best business education out there. Anyway, if you sign up, give me your email address. I'm going to tell you every week what's on my podcast. That's one way for me just to stay in touch with you. Listen, you know, the most intimate device that any of us have is a phone. That's where I'm hearing from my wife and text messages. I'm getting emails from my friends. If somebody gives you their email address, they're giving you an invitation to go into their phone. And that is a really great invitation. And that means you are now building a relationship, moving through the curiosity and enlightenment phases of relationship with your customer. They're getting familiar with you. And time plus value equals trust. Time plus value equals trust. So over time, I'm emailing people, giving them value, which creates trust. And at some point when they have a problem that I can solve, they'll do business with me. Let's not get into the complication of a very long email sequence. Let me give you the first 3 that you need to create. You need one that says, thanks. Thanks for downloading my lead generator, whatever that's called. And it repeats your one-liner, right? That's it. That's that first one. Keep it super short. Don't waste their time. Let them know what problem you solve and what their life can look like if they do business with you, and thank them for giving you downloading your lead generator. Next, overcome a problem. Say to the customer, many of you struggle with this. You don't have to. We have a product that will help you solve that problem. Here it is. Overcome a problem in your second email. Third, ask directly for the sale and offer a bonus. These can all happen in the same week. Each email, these 3 emails can happen one day apart, one blank day, then an email goes out. This to me is the absolute most basic email sequence you can set up. And many of you will see double-digit percentage growth if you just do that. If you create a one-liner, if you wireframe your website, and if you create a lead generator, and you offer 3 follow-up emails to that lead generator, I think you should see a double-digit percentage increase in your growth as a company. I mean, depending if your product's right and it's positioned in the market right and you have good customer service, all that. There's so many things you got to tackle. But in terms of basic marketing, that's your checklist. You need to either take responsibility for this yourself and create this sales funnel yourself, or work with and collaborate with somebody on your staff to actually get it done. But this is what your advertising should put people into. Your advertising should attract people to your sales funnel. Your sales funnel should attract people to your product. Advertising attracts people to your sales funnel. Your sales funnel attracts people to your product. If you're advertising to attract people to your product, you would skip the 3 stages of relationship: curiosity, enlightenment, and the ask for commitment. If you've done that, you're going to sell a lot less products. The difference between good marketing and bad marketing shares random information. Good marketing helps customers memorize your offer. Bad marketing shares random information. Good marketing helps customers memorize your offer. Your one-liner should be repeated on your website, should then be repeated in the first email that you send out. What am I doing? Using the same language and repeating it over and over, helping people memorize what I have to offer. And if they can memorize what I have to offer, I will get into the Rolodex of their brain. And when they have the problem that I solve, I'm there and they'll call me. If I don't take people through a memorization exercise in my marketing, my company will not grow. I've got to help people memorize why it is that I matter. All right, I want to look at another website that we made. This is an example of a horrible website. This company does not exist, but this is what many of your websites are doing. And God bless the wonderful web designer who made this beautiful website, who visually is stunning and gifted at what they do, but completely incompetent when it comes to choosing the right words. Wonderful visually, terrible at selling anything. This is what I call supporting an artist. It's a donation to a web designer. They're a wonderful artist. They're your friend's nephew. They've always wanted to create websites. You basically just bought a piece of art that you will never be able to resell for anything and will not grow your company. What am I talking about? Look at the top left, the logo. I don't know what that logo, that's a logo. It doesn't tell me what they offer at all. And then I can learn more. I can learn about their mission. Why do I want to know about their mission? I'm trying to solve a problem here. You want me to read about your mission? Home, about, ambassadors. What are ambassadors? I don't know what ambassadors are. There's nothing to do with it. And then why start? Why start indeed? That's the best question this website has asked so far. We go scroll down in the middle. Your journey starts here. Journey to where and for what reason? Not even going to answer the question. Artisan innovative solutions. Adjectives that sound fancy but mean nothing. You are revealing yourself as a hack with those words. I confess, I once gave a lecture in San Francisco to 1,500 sales reps, and they were sales reps for a software company. And I put that website, that joke website, up on the screen. And when I said art innovative and solutions, the whole crowd started giggling. I've learned not to be interrupted. I just kept going. And afterwards, I said, why did the whole crowd giggle at Artisan Innovative Solutions? And the guy brought me in and said, Don, I got to take you to our website. Open up the website, and it literally used innovative and solutions on the website. They were laughing because I pointed out that the emperor had no clothes. So, yeah, we want to do a lot better than that. That's a beautiful website that's going to do nothing but lose you money. Let's make one that actually works. Here's the dominant question that we want to ask in this webinar. What words will you use in your marketing? It's one thing to have a checklist. It's another thing to fill that checklist, that sales funnel, with a bunch of words that don't sell anything. Have you sat down and figured out how you will word, what words you will use to offer your customer a solution to their problem? Have you figured it out? Have you gone through a 1 or 2 day exercise that helps you figure it out? Have you read my book, Building a Storybrand, and gone through it and figured out your words? There's no magic in my book, none. There's only magic if you do what the book says to do. If you haven't spent some time figuring it out, you got to do that today. guide your customers through an exercise in memorization. That's what I want you to do. I want you to guide your customers using a sales funnel through an exercise and memorizing why they need your product, what you offer, how it will make their life better, and what they need to do to buy it. Listen, if you've read my book or if you've watched this webinar and you say, Don, I love everything that you're doing, I want to make sure that I personally, I am doing it right. A couple things. One, get the book, Building a Story Brand. And then next, come and see us. We have live marketing workshops in person, in a room. We'll have 200 people here in February. I hope you are one of them. 200 people at the Music City Center, Nashville's beautiful brand new convention center. It's a giant building that looks like a beautiful guitar laid down on its side. You're going to love it. We're in that beautiful convention center, and we're going to figure out our marketing together. You will leave with a sales funnel. Not only that, you'll leave with a clear message and a sales funnel. And I've got probably 15 to 20 facilitators, plus me in the room, plus JJ, plus Kula, who you know and love. All of us are in the room, and we're going to make sure that you're doing it right. Register for a live workshop today. You can do that at storybrand.com. There's one coming up in exactly 1 month. It's actually February 11th, I believe. But in 1 month, we are starting our next live workshop. You've got plenty of time to get here, to buy your flight, get your hotel room. But you want to register today. Go to storybrand.com and do that today. If you've never come to a Storybrand workshop or encountered one of our products, if you will, live, you're going to be blown away. We really want to exceed your expectations. But the bottom line is, that if you're paying me X amount of dollars, then what I want to do is get you a 10X return within a short period of time. It's about $3,000 to come to the workshop, a little more when you think about flights and hotels. So I really want to make you $40,000 and $50,000 within a short period of time. The way to do that is 1, clarify your message. 2, make a lead generator. 3, wireframe a great website. 4, create a lead generator. And fifth, you want to have follow-up emails. We will spend a day and a half clarifying just your message. You're going to get individual attention. Then we're going to create another half day wireframing the very tools that we just talked about. And you will leave with something that you can use to make money. Okay, I know that you have a lot of questions. If you don't have questions, if you haven't put your questions, email us or put your questions in the chat. You want to do that now. I'm going to bring Tim back, and Tim is going to go through questions, and we're going to answer anything that we can possibly answer. It's really not a kind of company that we haven't worked with. If you use words to sell things, you need to clarify your message, and you need to create a sales funnel. It will work for dentists or financial advisors, real estate agents, restaurant owners, retail owners. It's going to work for you super, super well. But let's see what sort of questions that we've got. Tim, welcome back.
Hey, thank you, Don. Great job. I know a lot of you have really, really enjoyed this last hour. And so what we want to do is to just really answer the questions that you have to just clarify your level of understanding. Liz asks, how does the live workshop, which you just talked about, differ from this online training and the book?
Yeah, so it's the difference between reading a textbook and attending a course. And a lot of this, I give away a lot in that book. It's there. If you can afford $14 on a book, that book will revolutionize your marketing. However, like many of you, I could literally take this camera and go across the way to my bedroom and show you my nightstand, and it is a stack of books that I have one chapter in. If that's you, that doesn't do it. So we help you. You get it done in 48 hours. So imagine reading the book and doing every exercise in 48 hours, and not doing it alone. You have facilitators walking around the entire time. There will be a facilitator assigned to you.
Yeah.
That facilitator will work with you in the room. I'm in the room. At some point, I'm going to say, read me what you got. And I'm going to say, that is really well written, but not going to do it. What if we did this? We'll change it. The real benefit of the workshop, 2 things. 1, you leave with the deliverable having done it. It's accomplished. And 2, we hold your hand through the process. So it's a great value.
I'm definitely, my personality type is one where it's like, I understand the concepts, but I just want to run this by somebody to just be, am I doing it right? And it's easy to kind of get started using the principles that you read in a book and just be like, I think I'm doing it. But then when you have an expert sitting right next to you and you're able to be like, okay, like check my math here.
Yeah.
And they're able to just like make slight corrections to really, lock it in. Because the difference between a title, in the header of a website that is super clear versus just a little bit clear. Like,
They're
it's
pretty
going to be
similar.
pretty.
One works and one doesn't. And also, Tim, I read Crucial Conversations last year. It's a great book. Many of you have read it. I realized this is incredibly important. I bought in. I hired a facilitator to come and teach me, and I put a group of friends together, the principles of this book.
Yeah.
It was that valuable. Read Mindsets by Carol Dweck out at Stanford. I hired a facilitator, I think Monday morning, she comes to take us through it, because a book is great, but I want to make sure that I actually execute on that book. There's nothing magical about a book. It's what you do, and we're going to help you with the execution if you come see us.
So you walk through the 4 parts of the marketing checklist. We have some questions about each of those. Nancy here asks, on the website in particular, how do you deal with loss aversion without being fear-based?
It's a great question, because if you go too fear-based, people actually turn off. It's in my book, the Building a Storybrand book. I talk about if you get too negative, people will actually tune out. And so there's an equation there you have to be super careful with. However, you can't leave out loss aversion. It has to be there, or there are no stakes in the story. So we got to include it. And unfortunately, it's subjective. It's subjective. And so you want to be careful how you word it. Like I remember, if I say something like, your business is going to go bankrupt unless you show up at a Storybrand workshop. That's too far. That's a punch in the face, and it's not true. You guys are doing great business. We're just going to make your business grow. But if I say you don't have to wake up in a fog anymore when it comes to your marketing, that's nice, right? That's so. You're offering to solve a problem, and I'm not being a fear monger. I think, Nancy, you want to check with your heart a little bit and ask yourself, am I strong-arming, or am I saying, hey, can I stop you a second? I really want to save you from making a mistake here. It's something that I can that I've seen other people do, and it's cost them something. That kind of heart attitude, I think, is what you're looking for. But you got to have it. It's if you really can solve somebody's problem, you're morally, I think, responsible to actually help them not make that mistake. And if they want to continue to make a mistake, that's fine. But at least you came in and said, hey, I wouldn't do that. It's going to cost you a ton of money. So
Eric asks, he says, the plan works great for a service company. Can you give an example of a plan for a product company?
Oh, it's super easy. There's no difference between the service company and the product company. Everybody thinks, well, that works for them. It doesn't work for me. There's no difference. And so I bought a ring.